Then my principles just won't allow me to do certain things. I do believe in karma. So you know what I'm saying, and I don't. And also another thing, you shouldn't do things because you're afraid of what's gonna come back on you. You should do things because they're just the right thing to do.
Right.
You know.
Absolutely. And you know what? And that's the thing with not just integrity, but also intention. So
Hmm.
a lot of us have been in relationships with people where people portray themselves to be one thing or one way when really that's not who they really are. And so when you are dating a representative or someone with a mask, it's only a matter of time before they start to show their true selves. And so when you encounter the real them, the person without the mask, if you will, that is when you start to see the flags, and you start to see that this is not a person of integrity and start to see what their intentions truly are. And that's only if we're paying attention, because if we get into relationships with others and we are not emotionally and mentally stable, and we are in relationship with someone, one, because we don't want to be by ourselves, or two, because we feel like, okay, I want to be in love, I want to be married, and we're trying to rush everything, then we tend to miss those things or we overlook them. And then later on down the line, we end up regretting that because we find ourselves in a world of hurt, pain and disappointment. And really, we have to be upset with ourselves because the flags were there, we ignored them, you know, and you participated in your own hurt at that moment. And so I think that a lot of times we also set expectations for people who cannot meet those expectations. We set high expectations for low performing people. If you are dealing with an individual who lacks integrity, they're not going to be faithful to you. They're not going to be loyal to you. And so you're setting an expectation that they will never meet because that's not who they are.
Absolutely. And a lot of that happens because I truly believe a lot of people don't get to know who it is that they're dealing with. They don't allow enough time. I think all too often people just go off of someone's idea of who they are. Like I've put up a
Mm-hmm.
post a while ago, and I put it up a couple of times where I've said a lot of people like the ideal of me, but unfortunately they can't
Right.
handle the reality of me. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I'll go deep into that one. What happens is all too often, you see the surface of things, but just like any and everybody else, I require more than just the surface, and they're requirements. They are not,
Mm-hmm.
requests. They are requirements. There's a difference. A request is I would like it. A requirement is I have to have
Mm-hmm.
it. And sometimes that challenges people's, integrity
Absolutely.
and ego. A lot of times ego gets you, you
Mm-hmm.
know, gets you in a situation where you shouldn't be in, all because your ego just got the best of you. Like I know dudes who, their ego got the best of them because they want to, still go
Absolutely.
around the bar and go around the lounge and flirt with the ladies and see if they still got it. I don't need to see if I still got it if I'm with somebody, because if I'm with somebody, guess what? I got it.
Absolutely.
That's the reason I got that person.
There you
You know
go.
what I'm saying? I got it. I know I
Here's
still
the thing.
got it.
If
You know what I'm saying?
yes, yes, if you are with someone that is a person of integrity and someone who is genuinely into you as an individual, that's genuinely feeling you, that cares about you, that loves you, they're gonna gas you up anyway because that's how they really see you. And I was telling a couple guys a couple weeks ago that for us women, we're a little bit different. We're not as visual as men. Yes, we have to be
Hmm.
attracted to you. Yes, you know, however, we are not one of those who have to have a quote unquote 10, if you will, in the physical department. Because let's just
I
be
don't
honest.
like 10.
Uh, let's
I
let's be
don't.
honest. There are a lot of men out here that aren't quote unquote tens in society's eyes. You know, the cut,
Absolutely not.
but they are phenomenal men, and that's why they have what they call a 10 in a woman. Because to me, you can be a 10 all day long physically, but if you lack the qualities of a wife or a husband, if you lack the qualities of a good, just being a good person,
Good
you're a zero.
person.
Period. You're a zero. And
Yeah.
so for us women, once we are not just feeling you, but when we care about you and when we love you, we don't see anybody else. Our blinders are on.
Mm.
Like we might say, oh, he looks nice, or his shirt looks nice, whatever. But that's as far as it go. We ain't thinking, oh, I want to take him home and stuff. Nope. Because in our mind, the man we with, he is the finest thing that ever walked in this earth. He the best thing since sliced bread. Period. That's how we are. Those of us who are, we ain't talking about damaged women now, and we ain't talking about women who like to play. We're talking about women who want to be in relationship, and that's how we operate. And you don't have to, and you can be. And let me just say, Lady J, I prefer the big guys. I like the big husky men. Okay, and that's just what I prefer.
Ain't no wrong with it.
All types of men. I fall more so in people's personality. It don't matter what you look like. If your personality is dope, then I'm a roll with it, because that's how you grab me mentally.
Mm-hmm. And I think and men and women are wired a little different.
Mhm,
For men, I think it just, as long as you're attractive to that man and
mhm,
you have qualities that um, not only get his attention, but it what's the word I'm looking for? Not only it gets his attention, but it also arises his curiosity. If you can arouse a
mhm.
man's curiosity with your mind alone, he gonna be stuck with you. Like he gonna be intrigued. He gonna want to know more, and the more he know, the
Right.
more he gonna cherish, because
Mhm,
that's a sign of investing for him. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, most men can care less about what it is you do, why you do, how you do. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
As long as you can operate within a realm of what he has going on,
Mhm,
and you can add value to whatever it is that he got going on, he cool.
mhm.
But once you start sparking a man's curiosity, it's different. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because he gonna start putting on his blinders too.
Yes. And so, keep that thought, because I got a question. We're going to get into,
Hmm.
we got to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to get into what is integrity? What does that look like in a relationship? Because listen, this stuff I see out here on social media, these people out here got the game
Oh, all messed up.
all messed up. So listen, y'all, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. Stick and stay. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to continue this conversation of integrity in relationships with Keith Omar and Lady J right here on Relationshipology on JQLM Radio, a division of Ego Entertainment Network. Ladies and gents, mark your calendars for the party of the year. It's the second annual National Re-Up Experience, hosted by the one and only comedian D.L. Marshall in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, on April 5th and 6th. Get ready for the Re-Up Brunch and more, with an all-white theme that's going to be the talk of the town. Then let loose at the all-white party. Trust us, you don't want to miss this. But wait, there's more. Roll into stitches at the Re-Up Comedy Show, headlined by the hilarious Robert Sweaty Hands Day, featuring the gentleman of comedy and the one and only Miss Robinson. Strut down the black carpet at the award show, catch live performances, and experience a night you won't forget. The theme this year is Can't Stop, Won't Stop. Because of the Re-Up Experience, we re-up to stay up. Hurry, don't miss out on the fun. Get your tickets now at reupexperience.com. That's reupexperience.com. It's gonna be lit. We re-up to stay up, baby. Get your tickets before they're gone. Music Into the Night by Price Canal on pixabay.com. Sponsored by Ego Entertainment Network and Iconic Speakers Network. Trendsetters and game changers, ready to make your brand shine? Ego Magazine is the hottest bi-monthly print and digital interactive magazine, read with the perfect spotlight for your brand. Beauty, fashion, entertainment, relationships, and more. We cover it all. Want your brand in front of thousands? Secure ad space now. Your ad becomes interactive in the digital version and runs for a solid 60 days. Plus, it lands in the print version too. Half page, full page, or even the coveted back cover, the choice is yours. Showcase your brand where it matters. Secure your space at egoentertainmentnet.com/b-feature-advertising-magazine. Or just visit egoentertainmentnet.com and contact us. We can't wait to showcase your brand in the spotlight. Subscribe for free now at egoentertainmentnet.com. Ego Magazine, where your brand takes center stage. Music, Funk Upbeat by Michael Smusiv on Pixabay.com. Are you ready for the ultimate radio experience? Tune in to JQLM Radio now. From gospel vibes to Christian rap, hip hop, pop, R&B, and smooth jams, we've got it all covered. Get hooked on real voices, raw entertainment, and super relevant topics that'll keep you glued. Don't bother touching that dial. We've got the perfect soundtrack for every moment. Start your day right and groove into the night with JQLM Radio. Download the JQLM Radio app, listen on Alexa, TuneIn app, Simple Radio app, or visit egoentertainmentnet.com/JQLM-radio. Your irresistible music journey starts here. JQLM Radio. Real, raw, relevant, and dope. Music, track by Dmitry Kolesnikov on Pixabay.com. Hey, JQLM Radio, listen, y'all. You know, every year we gotta take it up a notch. I got a couple of messages said, "Lady J, that is so dope. Thank you very much. We over here working hard, trying to not only bring content that is of substance, but also entertaining." So shout out to our sponsors for the Re-Up Experience, and we'll talk about that a little later in the show. So for those of you who are just tuning in, we have been talking about integrity in relationships. If this is your first time tuning in to Relationshipology, then we address the topic, and then we talk about the issues within the topic, and then we give solutions at the end. So Keith, you have been talking about integrity in relationship, and so since you came up with this topic, then we're going to let you start off with, what does integrity look like in relationships? And real quick, some of our comments. Chantel Austin, she says, yes, my man. Yes, and let me tell you, her man is phenomenal. Let's see, T Queen, hey lady, her man is phenomenal too. Both of those ladies have been married for years. And NJ, hey, I love you too. Love you too, Monet. So can you go into a little bit about what does integrity look like in relationships for men? Like, what should men be doing to be integral? And I'll tackle the women.
Okay. So for the fellas, I always say what you should be doing to keep, the integrity in your relationship is you need to stand on your word. You need to stand on your principles. If you don't have principles, then your integrity might be questionable. You have to have, principles first. So here's just some healthy, basic principles I believe all men should have. Number one is, try to be as honorable as you can, be as righteous as you can, be as fair as you can. And what that looks like is, I believe this is like one of the simplest ways to stay out of trouble when you're in a relationship. Don't do something that you would not want your mate to do. And I think that's just so simple. And also to add to it, if you feel like you have to question it, then you might not need to do it.
Right.
Or hide it. But even if you do have to question it, you might want to make that phone call or that text message and see if you can get the okay for it. Because you never know. It might be okay with your mate. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
To where, like Lady J just said, you don't have to feel like you can do it and then just not say nothing about it. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You might actually get the okay to do whatever it is that you was trying to do. So, I just think those are the basic ones. Like, keep your word. If you say you're gonna do something, if you
Yeah.
don't do it, don't make it because if you don't do it, at least that person know, with your integrity, make it to where that person know it wasn't because of lack of effort. You know what I'm saying? If I
Absolutely.
say I'm gonna do something, and because we human, and also this is life. Things happen to where sometimes you can't do what you promised or what you said you were going to do. But what your mate should
Mm-hmm.
understand about you is they should understand, well, if he or she didn't do it, it wasn't because of lack of effort. They
Right.
need to know that I know that man or I know that woman put her effort or his effort into trying to get it done. Unfortunately, it
Mm-hmm.
just could not happen. You know what I'm saying? But you need to have a list of, at least five things that you're going to stand on when it comes to your integrity,
Right.
and your principles. You know what I'm saying? So have five principles that you're going to follow. You ain't going to never bend them. You ain't going to never break them. They just going to
Right.
be what it is because that's your foundation right there.
Absolutely. And I agree. And I'm going to say just to, and I know that you said stand on your word, but I know that one thing too that is integrity for men that I've heard men say and that women require is consistency.
Hmm.
Consistency. So for the ladies, I would say the same thing. One, I'm always big on being a woman of your word. Your word is your bond. And if your man cannot trust you to come through when you say you're gonna do something, then you know what I'm saying. Then are you really a helpmate? Are you really supporting him? Are you really coming through for him? Are you a multiplier? So, you got to be a woman of your word too. You got to be consistent. We as women feel like when we get into relationships, men have to still date us and things. Well, guess what? You still have to date him too. So you still have to do the things for him that you were doing in order for him to see that you were the one for him to choose as his life partner. And so you have to be consistent as well. I also feel like so you need to be a woman of your word. You need to be consistent and you need to learn how to also be content with the attention from your mate. Too many of us are always seeking validation and praises from other men. And one of our listeners said, T Queen, I believe it was, she says that earlier you mentioned that Keith Omar. She said, seeing if I still got it screams insecurity. Been there, done that. And she's correct. And so as a woman, you know, if there is something going on with you that makes you feel insecure, or makes you feel not beautiful enough or enough period, then you need to start looking within and figuring out what is that or what transpired to make you feel that way. And if it's something that your mate has said or done, then you need to sit down and have a conversation with that man, with your mate. Excuse me, with your mate and figure out why was there a miscommunication or why was that said or done or whatever, and then you all come to a common ground on coming up with a solution, and then you start to apply that, because seeking validation outside of your relationship opens the door for cheating, for lying, for all kind of stuff, and then you'll find yourself in a situation that you can't get out of, or wish that you had never gotten into, and that could potentially completely ruin your relationship, lady. So let's just be honest. The same thing goes for what Keith said. Don't do to him what you wouldn't want done to you. Now, we do know that there are some things that men do that they definitely wouldn't take. A man can cheat, but the minute a woman, he can cheat 100 times, but you one time is all it takes for you. And now you the worst thing in the world, ain't the worst thing in the world. Unfortunately, they're wired differently than us, and that's just one of the double standards. However, if you don't want it done to you, then don't do it to him. If you are one of those females that has been with the man who has cheated on you, you decided to stay, you decided to take him back. It's going to take some work to get through it. However, going out and doing to him what he did to you is still not being a person of integrity. Leaving is the best thing that you can do. Trust me.
Hmm.
Okay. And that's gonna hurt worse than you cheating.
And I look at it like this. You take it even further. For people who feel like they need to get their lick back, that means you really don't love that person. You just
Yes,
like
because
them a
if that
lot.
person is hurt, because when I hurt somebody, if I know that somebody is hurt, the person that I'm with is hurt by something I said or did, that's gonna hurt me. That's what makes me feel
Hmm.
low. You know what I'm saying? It's just like with your kids. If you hurt your children, or when your children hurt, even if you didn't do it, you hurt. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with anybody that you really love. So I agree.
Your concern level should be so high. Like when in a relationship, if I feel like my communication isn't easy
Hmm.
or it um isn't enough, then my concern level goes to an outrageous 10. Now,
Mm,
I think with men is different. I think most men, because we have been taught to suppress our feelings so much
hmm.
throughout life, um, we internalize everything, and I think when we are sharing our feelings, that's when we are the most vulnerable. And I
Yes.
believe because women are so in tune with how they feel. Someone
Hmm.
said this, and I tend to agree with it too. Someone said the only thing a woman is loyal to is her feelings. Now, a lot of folks don't like me saying it, but I'm just gonna come
I
out
mean,
with it. I'm gonna have to agree to an extent. Now, I'm not gonna go all the way in on it and be like, that's 100%. It's about eight. It's about 85, 84.5, 85% right. I'm going with because a woman will react on her feelings
hmm.
because you all are in touch with your feelings way more than rationality to me sometimes. I even think in most cases, you know what I'm saying?
That's
And because the thing is, you all have
90%.
been you all have been taught that your feelings are valid. And your
Yes.
feelings are valid, but that
Hmm.
don't mean that your feelings are aligned with reality. How you feel is valid. You feel that way for whatever reason, and I get it. I understand it, but
Hmm.
that don't mean your feelings is aligned with the reality of something.
So here's the thing with that. I was always taught that if me and you are in conversation, let's just say me and you were in a
Mhm.
relationship, we're in conversation, and you say something or do something that hurts my feelings, and I come to you and I say, you hurt my feelings. I feel like blah 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 blah. And then you come
Mhm.
back and say, well, no, well, that's wrong, or that's not what I meant. Right then and there, starting off that way is completely wrong. I was always taught that you validate a person's feelings. You don't dismiss, what I'm saying, how they're feeling. What I was taught
Mhm.
to say is, okay, I apologize that what I said or did made you feel that way. That was not my intention. What I was trying to say or what I was doing was ABCD, because when you're in a relationship with someone, you don't ever want them to feel like how they feel or their feelings in that moment, because whatever transpired when it got to them and it hit them,
Mhm.
that was the feeling that it caused. So while it may not be in alignment with what you were trying to portray or what you were trying to do, the
Right.
reality is when you relate it, it
Mhm.
wasn't relayed in a way that they received it in the way that you meant it. And
I agree.
so you validate. So in that sense, their feelings are a reality.
Yeah.
It may not align with exactly what your intention was. However,
Mhm.
I was in a very long relationship. I'm not gonna say with who, but I was in a very long relationship where my feelings were constantly, and I mean constantly, invalidated. I was always being told that how I was feeling was, I'll say, basically wasn't acceptable or wasn't true or up to par with what the situation was, and that made me angry. And so if you're a person who's in a relationship that always has to be right versus
Mhm.
trying to address the issue, so that you all can continue to grow and be happy together, you're not going to be in relationship long. And for the remainder of the time that you're in a relationship, you're going to be unhappy because that person doesn't validate your feelings and see your feelings as something that they need to acknowledge. And at the same time, they want them, their feelings acknowledged.
I agree. But when I say also to the reality of something, for example, we could be talking about a subject, and this subject is based off of truth, and is either going to be fact or not, or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I can literally lay out a fact, and I can hear women. I have look. You've been on my page. You've seen this happen more than enough times. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Where I will have a topic that's I can, it's a fact. It's either fact or fiction,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a natural fact. But you will see people say, "Well, I feel like."
Yeah.
Damn your feelings. The fact of the matter is this.
Not
That's
damn
the
your.
fact of the that's the fact of the matter. You know what I'm saying? We can't change the truth of it.
Right.
I
Right.
understand. I listen. I look. I recognize how you feel, and I
Uh-huh.
understand that it's a natural thing to feel a certain type of way. But
Right.
the reality is, this is the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know what I'm saying? Don't be mad at me because I'm the messenger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just face the fact and deal with it. A lot of times, I don't think women want to do that. And then what happens in that situation with us, between us, men and women, this is where a divide comes.
Mm-hmm.
Men are taught to just deal with things.
Mm-hmm.
Women typically have someone to rescue them from it. And if they
Mm-hmm.
don't, I hate to say it, and I know I'm gonna catch some heat for this one, but
Mm-hmm.
let's deal with the facts, people. Don't deal with how you feel about it. I don't want you
Right.
to be triggered off of something I'm about to say. Deal with the fact of it. The fact of the matter is, some of them will instantly turn into a victim.
Now, I agree. I agree. Real quick, Sean Lee says perception and reality are always two different things. Relationships both have to validate, explain, and talk through. And I agree.
Hmm.
She says it's all about your delivery. Yes. And so I think that what you said was 100% true. So, yes, when you are stating facts, your feelings really don't matter. Now, you can talk about how you feel about the facts.
Hmm.
However, it still
The,
doesn't change the reality
exactly.
of the truth of the matter. And so I will say that from me being 40 years old now, I have learned a lot in my lifetime, and I try my best to learn from my mistakes and learn from the choices and decisions that I've made, and even for my
Hmm.
interaction with people. And so I used to be someone or female that felt like my feelings were fact. That's where in reality. Now I'm not saying everything. Now wait a minute. Now
Right,
something.
right, right.
However, I used to feel like they were fact, and then and if I felt like my feelings were not being taken into consideration about a situation, even though facts were being presented, I have tendency to snap on you because now I'm feeling like you know what I'm saying, like you ignoring me and just ignoring how I'm feeling. And so I had to learn how to grow from that. And that comes from an individual who really didn't see a lot of, I didn't see, I'll say, the correct way on how to deal with conflict or a misunderstanding.
Hmm.
Because my grandparents, they were a great example of a married couple, but I never saw them argue. So I didn't have that. And then the people that I did see argue, like my parents, for a very short period of time when I was very little, it came to blows. So
Hmm.
that was my model. And so I had to learn through trial and error and through listening to men like you, other men that came into my life, and my uncle, and taking those things into consideration, but at the same time working on me. And so my thing is, if you are a person who wants an individual with integrity in relationship, somebody who's going to be faithful to you
Hmm.
in text, in email, in person, and all of that, you have to be that. You cannot ask, for those who are believers, you cannot ask God to send you a husband and you're not a wife. I'm sorry, you just can't
Mm,
do it. Instead of asking, and then a lot of us when we get into relationships, this is another thing I feel like it should be something on the list as far as what integrity looks like in relationships on both sides. When there is conflict, stop running to another man or a woman in conflict. You need to sit down and talk it out with each other and go to prayer, counseling, or whatever. Stop running to the opposite sex, all right?
mhm,
To when you have an issue, because and then some things should only be reserved for you. Stop telling people on social media and post and all that what you like to do in the bedroom, what you like done to you and things of that sort, especially if you're in a relationship. What the are you doing? You know what I'm saying? I see that all the time. Like, what aren't you like, aren't you
why
in a
would
relationship?
you? Yeah, why would you even want to share? First of all, why would you want to share something so personal for everyone to have an idea how to get you?
Listen,
You're looking to sabotage yourself, not even just a relationship, but you're looking at sabotaging yourself because now someone has the playbook on how to play you.
period. Period. Hold on. Okay, wait, y'all. We have some comments. We didn't open up the phone lines tonight, so y'all forgive us. We'll have the phone lines open every show from now on. So for those of you who are watching, thank you. For those of you who are tuning in and listening, you can text us at 317-886-0296. You'll be able to call in 317-886-0296. A quick break, so don't go anywhere. We're going to come back and read you all's comments, and we're going to and text messages, and we're going to address those. So don't go anywhere. Stick and stay. We'll be right back. You are tuned in to Relationshipology with your girl Lady J and Keith Omar right here on JQLM Radio, a division of Ego Entertainment Network. Calling all podcasters, creatives, and hustlers. Ego Entertainment Network is unlocking its doors, and you're invited to take center stage. Whether it's your podcast, radio show, or you need a workspace that vibes with your hustle, Ego Studio is the place to be. Fully equipped with mics, TV screens, audio gear, desks, Wi-Fi, and our talented engineers at your service. Right in the heart of downtown Indianapolis, this is where your ideas come to life. Ready to book? Hit us up at egoentertainmentnet.com/about. And let's make your vision a reality. Ego Entertainment Network, your studio, your vibe. Book the Ego Studio now and let your creativity flow. Music, Future Track by Alexi Action on pixabay.com.
Welcome to the Gallery Event Center. My name is Richard, and we're located on the north side of Indianapolis in the Castleton area. We can be reached at 317-534-6399, or you can visit us at our website at www.thegalleryeventcenter.com. Also on Instagram at The Gallery Event Center. We specialize in birthdays, baby showers, weddings, and even family get-togethers. So come see us and book your event today.
All right. And we are back. You are tuned in to Relationshipology with your girl, Lady J, and
Keith Omar.
right here on JQLM Radio, a division of Ego Entertainment Network. And listen, this conversation has gotten real good. So we've been talking about integrity in relationships, and I want to go to the comments and to the text messages real quick to see what our listeners have to say. So T Queen, well, Sean Lee says, no, let me go back. After Sean Lee said it's all about your delivery, we have T Queen, and she says it's the delivery for me. If you come off like you knucking, then my default response is, baby,
I
I'm
see.
with you.
Somebody
Listen,
being too defensive.
exactly. Sean Lee says facts, but you know what? I can attest to that because I'm the same way. I've gotten better. I've gotten a whole lot better. T Queen says, but seriously, we should be able to be naked with each other physically, emotionally, spiritually, and so on. I want to be vulnerable and safe. Absolutely. She says the run to the opposite sex for validation. Exactly. Preach, Lady J. Stop sending coochie coupons on social media. Yes. So let me tell y'all something. It is not. You're not a man or a woman of integrity if you are doing that. Once again, I was in a couple relationships, but where men would literally be in inbox with another woman telling them what they like done to them in the bedroom, what they like, and sending videos and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm like, are you serious? And you want to know what one of them said to me, Keith? Listen, when I
What's
addressed
that?
it, he said, well, I wouldn't talk to my Rose about that, about what I like in the bedroom. That's weird. Why would I do that? First of all, why are you talking to anybody else about what you like in the bedroom? I'm not understanding. What are we doing
Right.
here? I mean,
Right.
are
Why?
you
Well, why should anyone know? Why should anyone outside of who you dealing with know what you
listen?
like?
What my thoughts exactly? But you know, hey, and I was just,
I'm a
I
private
was
person.
flabbergasted. I was
Listen,
flabbergasted.
I'm a private person, and I feel like whoever I'm with, if they can't be private on that level, then you not for me. You might
Absolutely,
be for the street.
absolutely. I mean, you're not a woman of integrity if you're discussing what you do in the bedroom with your man. A lot of you all have that bad. Y'all go tell y'all girlfriends details. I never do that, and I will shut you down if you come to me with that. Unless you're coming
Yeah, yeah. I
to
don't want to
me
hear it.
or your girlfriend about tips on things that you can do. Because let's just be honest, some are way more open
Experience and
than
others.
others. So
Hmm.
if you come to me, and I've had women come to me, now I'm not gonna tell y'all what I'm experienced in.
Right,
However,
right.
when it comes to me and ask me some things, and I don't mind sharing those things to help you out in that area. However, we're not getting ready to exchange details about what's going on.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Exactly, with your husband.
I
That to me,
don't
that
want
is
to know.
something sacred that should only be between you and your mate.
There's a reason why I was not invited to watch, so I don't need the details.
That part,
And if you are inviting me to watch, I don't want to see it.
right?
I don't want to
Right.
see it.
Sean Lee says, what happens in the bedroom should stay in the bedroom. Absolutely. And so I think another thing when it comes to integrity is also on the women's side. If your man makes less than you, or he finds himself in a situation where
Mhm.
he has lost his job, or maybe he got injured on the job, and so he's down for a while or whatever, it is not, you're not a woman of integrity if you are putting him down or making him feel less than, treating him less than the king that he is. Money does not equal, or I say money is not required for you to treat someone, you know what I'm saying, like they should be treated. If he was your king when he was hitting the 50,000, 80,000, $100,000 mark, then he should still be that way when he finds himself in a situation. And you, as the helpmate, it is your job then to pick him up and hold him up in whatever area that you need to lead in when he's not able to. That's what a helpmate is. And so let me just say this, because women, I don't care, y'all get mad at me all the time. Y'all be coming to the table with all these demands and talking about what he got to have. He got to have this. He got to be able to take me here. He got to be able to pay this. You can't even take you here. You can't pay this. You don't even meet that yourself. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, you are to come to the table with what you can offer. You are the helpmate, not the other way around. He is not the help to you. You are the help to him. Let me say it again. You are the help. He is not. Okay? He is to lead, yes, cover you, protect you, provide for you, and things of that sort. But your job is to help him. That's your job. Period.
What bothers me in watching a lot of stuff on social media here in the last few years is this entitlement of a man's resources before he
Mm.
becomes your husband.
Yep.
Um, that is crazy
Wild,
to
ain't it?
me.
Wild.
That is crazy to me.
It's like
And what
asking
it makes
somebody
it
to make
even
you that beneficiary, and y'all not
what,
even no relationship.
right. What makes it even worse is we got a whole lot of suckers out here who's just more than willing to do it. And that's what
Mm.
feeds this monster that we have. Um, there is not a sense of trying to build together no more. I believe a lot of integrity comes with building together. Because once you build together, think about it. I remember hearing women say stuff like this back in my day. I put all this time and effort into this man to just give up now.
Mhm.
I've heard of many of women have said that in my lifetime. I've put all this work and effort into this man to give up now. Nope. We're going to fight tooth and nail for this. I've heard women do this. We know the women of the 90s didn't play about their man.
But
The women of
yeah.
the 90s did not play about their man.
Mhm.
Boy, you can play with anything else. As long as you don't play with some children, as long as you don't play with that man and you don't play with no money, you was good.
Right.
You was good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You might be able to play with her a little bit. But if you got to play with them kids and that money and that man, it was a problem. A whole problem.
Yes. And but
And
here's
we
the
don't
thing.
hear that no more though. We don't hear I can't think of too many times I've actually seen a woman come on social media talking about some don't come for my man, ladies. You're gonna find yourself in a mess
Well,
of trouble. I
here's the
don't
thing.
see it often.
Here's the thing with that though. I will say that that mindset though can sometimes be toxic. And the
It
reason I
can.
say that
It
is
could.
because I've been that woman, the teaching woman. Listen, who Jesus, I have gotten tired of being a teaching woman. I'm no longer teaching in certain areas. I'm not doing that. But we as women feel like we can build a man. So like build a bear. And you
Yeah,
can't
you're
do that.
supposed to
You
build
cannot
one.
change somebody
You're
who
supposed to
he
encourage
shows you,
one.
right? Who he shows you, when he shows you who he is. It ain't your job to try to change him. First of all, you are not God, and that man will not change. I hate when people say a man will change for the right woman. No, the man will
A
change
man
for
would change for
himself first.
himself.
When he sees
Yep.
a need to change, when he sees
Hmm.
that you are somebody that he wants, he will then, if he feels like that fits into who he is and who he's trying to become, it feels like you are his favor, you are his good thing that's going to get him to where he's trying to go, that's going to help him become the man that God created him to be, then he will change himself for himself. That will
Hmm.
also benefit you as his wife, as his woman. And that's something that I had to learn, being a person who is a fixer, or I'll say not a fixer, but somebody who helps people overcome. I'm always taking on assignments. And so looking at men, no matter man, women, whoever, always as assignments. And so when we do that, we put ourselves in a position where we poured into and invested into someone that we were not meant to be with in the first place, all because we want something. And so for those women who do that, you have to take responsibility and accountability, which is why you don't see a lot of women saying what you just said now, because we don't want to be accountable and say that I played a role in this and I made this decision and I should not have, because it was not a good decision, or you know, don't like taking accountability for our own
You,
actions and our decisions. We participate in our own hurt, in our own demise, and in being in relationship with men we have no business being in. And a lot of times we fall in love with an assignment. Maybe y'all just cross paths so you can help him during the season of his life. But too many times we fall in love with assignments when they were not meant to be a relationship partner.
hmm And you said something that stuck out to me. Also, accountability is a major component to making sure the integrity is on point.
Right.
If you can't be accountable or hold someone accountable, where's the integrity?
Mm-hmm.
It's lost. I like to I like to think that when two people come together, they should come together for one reason and one reason only. We need to coexist to elevate for a legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything you do is not for yourselves.
Right.
Um, my son is 18, and since he's been born, I've always been very aware of what I say, what I do, and how I do them, and how I speak around him.
Right.
I bet my son can tell you he heard me curse more than two or three times in his whole entire life. I
Mm.
bet he couldn't. I bet he couldn't. I'm also very mindful of how he see me interact with women.
That's good.
I'm I'm
That's really
very
good.
mindful of that. Um, I can even think of ex-girlfriends, with their children. I'm very mindful of how they see me interact with their mothers. Uh,
Hmm.
it's just I don't think enough of us put into thought the integrity of not just being a man or a woman, but being a mate. People
Hmm.
don't think about the integrity of being a mate. People are
Absolutely.
watching you all the time. If you don't think people watch you all the time, how the hell we come up with these ideas of, relationship goals? We watching
Right.
somebody.
Right.
We see
Exactly.
Barack and we see Michelle Obama, and
Mhm.
oh, those are relationship goals. I just saw a clip of her today. She said it's flattering that people look at us and be like, those are relationship goals. But baby, let me tell you, we ain't perfect.
I know that's right. I know that's
She
right.
she just said we ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? She's like, so sometimes when I see those comments, it almost raises an eyebrow for her because she be like, woo, if y'all knew sometimes, what I'm saying, y'all
Right.
probably wouldn't be saying relationship goals. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Because they
So,
don't people look at where you are now, they don't see the struggle or
hmm,
the tests and the trials that you had to go through.
right.
T Queen says, right, because you would be mad if he talked about how you couldn't afford those bus tokens. Some of these folks are a gallon of gas away from walking. She ain't lying.
Boom.
uh, Darius says is good. And she says, T Queen says, yes, building together, that's key. Absolutely.
Hmm. We got too many people who don't want to build together, though. We got a lot. We have a like. This is what I said, and I got a lot of heat for this. But you know me, I don't care. Omar gonna say
Mhm.
what the hell he want to say. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you got a problem with it, Omar got hands. He can fight.
I know that's right. Cash
You know
every
what I'm
check.
saying? So yeah. So I would say whatever the hell I want to say. But anyways, I said this. I said a lot of men are getting to a point now where they're wising up and they understand that their success is what makes them attractive.
Hmm.
But now, since women, a lot of women complain, talk about some, well, why would men get older? They don't want to settle down. They don't. It's not that they don't want to settle down, nothing like that. It's just that you didn't start at the starting line with them, and you didn't catch them in the middle of the race. You
Absolutely.
catching them at the finish line.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because chances are, those type of men who are now at the finish line and they're successful, they done
Yep.
tried to meet you at some point throughout that race,
Absolutely.
and you curved them, you turned them down, you did
Yep.
whatever. And
Yep.
also, I'm just gonna keep it a whole hundred. A lot of you all value isn't as valuable as it once was when you at the finish line waiting on.
Absolutely. Because you know what? Women, I'll say this. I mean, as a woman, because I see this all the time, and I just feel like I feel like I should be on a different planet. Because I swear, these people down here make my head hurt. But I feel like women nowadays, again, like you said, they have a sense of entitlement, and you want to celebrate and enjoy the fruits of his labor when you are not interested in tarrying, all right, you are not interested in cultivating that that vineyard with him. You are not
Hmm.
interested in that. And so why do you feel that you are entitled to the fruits of his labor when you are not stuttering helping him? You know, Tim's T Queen says Tim and I hear that all the time, and we tell them to quickly find other goals. But thank you. A relationship takes work, and it's a beautiful thing when both parties work together. And so women forget that addressing a man or coming to a man with these demands makes you look like a dependent to him. Okay, not a helpmate, but a dependent. If he wants a dependent, then he can go lay down with a woman and get her pregnant. And real quick, because we are coming down to 2 minutes. For those of you who are tuned in to JQLM Radio on air, we're going to close out the show for you guys. But those of you who are watching us on social media, we're probably going to run over a few minutes. So before we close out the show, so you all don't go anywhere. But for those of you who are tuning in on JQLM Radio, we want to thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Relationshipology, talking about integrity in relationships. Don't forget, if you are in the ATL area and you are wanting to be a part of the Re-Up experience coming there next week, okay? April 5th and 6th. You do not want to miss it. Get your tickets now at reupexperience.com. That's REUP experience.com. We will have the brunch and more, the all white day party, and the comedy show on Friday. And then on Saturday, come in your best dress, okay, to the black carpet and the award show hosted by none other than multi-award winning comedian and radio host DL Marshall out of Kansas City, Missouri. All right. And also CEO of Marsh Media. He is our host this year. You do not want to miss it. The brunch is being hosted by the hostess with the mostest out of Orlando, Florida, Miss Caramel Lucas, your former radio host there in Florida as well. So you don't want to miss it. Our headliner this year for the comedy show is Robert Sweaty Hands Day. You've seen him on BET, Comic View, and on tour with Bruh Man and a whole bunch of other stuff. So you don't want to miss it. All right. ATL, get your tickets. If you're driving in from anywhere else, get your tickets. Tickets go on sale April 1st at 11:59 p.m. You cannot purchase tickets at the door. Okay.
And when is this event again?
April 5th and 6th. April 5th and 6th. So next weekend. Yes. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is your girl, Lady J.
Your boy, Keith Omar.
All right. For those of you who are tuning in, we'll see y'all next time. All right. So for those of you who are here on social media, as we were saying, sorry, y'all, we had to wrap it up for those who aren't. We always go over.
We're going to go over. You already know we're going to do it.
Yes. So being a woman of integrity, again, like I was saying, when you step to a man talking about what he has to do and what he has to have and you are dependent, I literally watched a woman who lived with her mother, which is not a bad thing because, hey, you know, a lot of women, but she was 33, I believe. She lived with her mother. She did not have she did have a job. She worked at Burger King. She lived with her mother. She did not have a vehicle. And she told a man in order to talk to her that he had to drive a certain type of car. He had to make at least 100K and also the kind of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, ma'am, what are you bringing to the table? I watched a video where a woman told, I forget his name. A woman told I guess, relationship counselor, a guy, that she didn't want to work. She's just like, I don't want to work. I want a guy who, you know, is in the 1%. And, you know, and I'm like, okay, so why do you think you don't have to work? And what are you going to do? Like cook, clean? Okay, he can cook and clean himself. But yes, that is something. Now, a lot of men can't do that, but that is a plus because a lot of men want a woman that can cook and clean. However, how are you going to help cultivate his purpose or his dream? And I'm not saying you put your own to the side, but that's your job. That's your job to nurture. It's your job to help. It's your job to support. You're to be his cheerleader. Everything. Matter of fact,
like you said, a woman's title to a man is a helpmate.
Yes, her job is to multiply.
You're trying whatever he brings in, she's supposed to multiply.
You're right. You come to him, tell him that you are going to subtract out the gate, not multiply.
Out the gate.
If he gives you a seed, you give him a child. He gives you groceries, you make it a meal. If he buys you a house, you make it a home. If he gives you $1,000 and you don't invest that and flip that in some type of way or put it away for your kids, if he gives you an idea that he wants to accomplish and you can't come up with a strategy to help him achieve that so y'all can flip it into something, you know, a legacy for y'all, ma'am, you coming out the gate subtracting, talking about what you need and what you want. What is going on here?
Listen, I'm gonna put women on game real quick. A man of integrity and a man of substance is looking for two things when he meets you. He's going to scope these things out, and chances are he has already scoped a lot of it out anyways because he's been watching.
Mm-hmm.
I tell my female friends this all the time. You know, a man with integrity and a man with, you know, substance, when he's not in the game, it's just like watching a football game. He on the sideline and he's paying attention to the field because he know at some point he's going to have to get back out there. And when he get out there, he's going to want to align himself with somebody who's going to help him win.
Absolutely.
He's been watching.
You're winning. Yes.
Yeah.
on
he's
now.
been watching. He been watching. He been seeing who playing the field. So this is what I told a friend like a few weeks ago. I told her I was like, see, y'all ladies, sometimes you all get careless and you feel like, oh, you a free agent. You can just be out here. You can entertain anybody.
Nope.
Well, you really can't. The reason why is, you're gonna be like, oh, well, I'll just entertain these dudes. But when he get back on the field, then I'll make sure we try to line up.
You ain't gonna be
Nah, he
checking you.
looking at you from the sideline like, wait a minute, hold up.
Yep. He
She
is not gonna.
entertaining all the clowns.
Yep.
We know the clown.
Mhm.
Look, he looking like she entertaining all the clowns.
Yep.
So if she
Absolutely.
gonna entertain all the clowns, what that make her? That make her the ringleader. I don't want to
Mhm.
be a part of the circus. No, I'm cool. I don't
I
want
know
to
this.
do that.
And when he see you
So,
for the streets, he definitely ain't gonna want
hmm
nothing to do with you.
so
And
he see you messing with people that he know don't have integrity. He who
absolutely.
know is not a part of substance. He gonna just automatically say, hey, that's something I only want. Look, I don't care if she is because I know she entertains that energy. I'm cool. I don't want no
Absolutely.
parts of it. And now
Absolutely.
here you are, X yourself out the game. Two
Hmm.
things men look for with substance and integrity. We
Hmm.
look for A, you're either going to be an asset, or B, you're going to be a
Liability.
liability. And if you're a liability, you're going to X yourself out the game. You
Hmm.
need to be an asset. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? You need, not want, not should be, you need to be an asset. If you
Right.
want a man of substance, if you want a man of integrity, you want a man of honor, you want a man that's loyal, you
Vice
need
versa
to
too.
be.
Women.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. Yeah, you can't be dealing with these clowns. I just say I told you. You deal with clowns, you don't X yourself out.
Mm. T says this is why open communication is important immediately. Know what you require and respect theirs. Stop wasting each other's time. I had a guy that told me what his idea of a relationship was for him. I'm gonna say what all he said, but it was a hell no. However, I respect his honesty in the beginning to allow me to respectfully decline and keep moving. And that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. And Jimmy Clay says, kick rocks, baby girl. Listen, it, we are too old. Once you get past 30, 35, you too old, all right, to be out here playing with people. Because especially if you're dating and dating with a purpose, you're too old out here to be
Hmm.
playing. And it's okay to be upfront and say what you want. And here's the thing: a lot of people, are like, "Oh, I literally had to cut somebody off," and they tell me, "Oh, you just ain't strong enough." No, you full of shit. Excuse my
Right.
French. You feel it,
No,
yeah.
tell it
And
like
I'm
it is. We ain't on
yes,
the air no more. Tell it like it is.
exactly. And listen, because at the end of the day, most people who know me know how I move, right? And I'm not for the streets. I'm not for the BS. And just because I may not say nothing right away, don't mean I'm not paying attention and I don't see it. Because I'm gonna give you an opportunity to correct yourself, and I'm gonna correct you as well. And if I see
Hmm.
that you are not an individual that's interested, okay, in becoming better and growing, because we both should be sharpening each other. Iron sharpens iron.
Hmm.
What people fail to realize is I used to hate when one of my exes used to be like, well, that's not what how come everybody else around me doesn't say that about me or whatever. They're not sleeping. They don't
It
know
could be
you in
because
the
they
ways
full
that
of.
I know
It,
you.
it,
Oh, you know what I'm
it could
saying?
be because they full of shit too.
That too. But what I'm saying is people forget that when you encounter certain people who are really who are really a help to you, and who are really good for you, they bring out certain things, they bring out certain things from you, and they bring certain things to the surface that maybe you didn't even know was there, that you needed to work on, and vice versa.
Hmm.
And that's what it's supposed to do, because you should be growing and elevating, not just individually but together. Just like if you get with the wrong person, they'll bring out the worst in you. You know what I'm
I, I
saying?
I heard. So I was in Clubhouse, and for people that don't know what Clubhouse is, it's an app that you can go on and you just hop into certain chat rooms and stuff, have conversations.
Mhm.
So I was in Clubhouse and I was talking to a few young ladies and a couple of dudes in the group, and it was clear that I was the oldest one in the group. You know what I'm saying? So I've lived a little longer. I've had a little more experience than most.
Mhm.
And I told a young lady this. I said, the problem with you all right now, because I'm just listening to them, the ladies and the young men are going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I was like, the problem is
Mhm.
no one wants to take instruction. Everyone thinks that they are okay. You might be okay, but you know what? You can be better. And
That's
the
right.
problem is, you don't want to take constructive criticism. You just look at criticism as criticism, period.
Mm-hmm.
You don't look at the constructive part of it.
Right.
If you know you have a man who's been this man have been with you for 2 years. You all live in a house now together. You know, he's helping with your children that ain't his biologically.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he has a more impact on your children than he has on his own because they're in the house with you 24/7.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He's invested. He ain't doing that just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
That man is invested. So when he comes to you and he tells you something, or he suggests something to you, or he gives you constructive criticism, don't get mad because he's criticizing you. He's
Mm-hmm.
trying to get you to see something another way so you can become a better version of you. I hate the idea when women say, well, he's trying to change me. Absolutely, he's trying to change you. He's trying to change you to be better, not just to be what you are. What you are got him to be intrigued.
Not
But he
necessarily
see
change you.
more.
He's trying to get you to see yourself. He's trying to get you to
Right.
self reflect, which is something we all should be doing. Because here's the
Hmm.
thing: none of us are perfect, so everybody has an opportunity to be better every single day. None of us are perfect, so for you to walk around as if your shit don't stink is beyond me. You
Hmm.
know, there is let's see, we got a comment that said she said T Queen said shit flow with other shit sewer buddies. Hashtag sewer
Hmm.
buddies. And she ain't lying because
Hmm.
being with a narcissist, narcissistic people feel like they're never wrong and they will gaslight the heck out of you. And let me tell you, listen here. It is probably the most it's probably they're the number one people probably on this planet that will make you physically assault them without being physically assaulted first. That's how angry angry because the stupid stuff that they come up with or that they say they really believe it themselves. And I'm
Hey,
like, what?
man, I leave them alone. That's what I do. I leave them alone. Like, listen, I got a friend. She be like, man, Omar, you the cutoff man. You cut somebody off quick. I'm like, yeah. I'm not. Listen, I am going to do any and everything to reserve my peace.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
because my peace keep my sanity, and Lord knows I need it. I can't be out here crazy because I do
Yep.
something to you. I
Yep.
know it. I'm just
Listen,
saying, I know it.
my past says the same thing. So I listen. I have to. I will cut you off. It would in a heartbeat. God bless you. May He watch between me and you. Listen,
Because
but
I mean, I done told y'all, I say what I want to say because I fight. I said, look, I like fighting. So I ain't had a fight in a long time, thank God.
mhm.
But don't test my gangster.
Yes, yes. So to wrap it up, what would be your final thought on this topic, integrity in relationships? What would you like to leave with everyone?
What I would like to leave with everyone is whenever you're having a conversation with your mate about what it is that you believe or you think or you feel that is lightweight disrespectful or a little out of order or something like that, give them the benefit of doubt first. Because
Mhm,
remember, you chose that person. So if you chose them, that means there's something good about them.
mhm,
But you need to make sure that, they understand the respect level. I think everyone can understand respect.
mhm.
Feelings is kind of hard to gauge. I'm saying? Expectations sometimes is kind of hard to gauge. But I think everyone recognizes and understands the idea of respect. And if
Mhm.
you start with there and like I said, lead with the goal of I'm not going to do something
Right,
that, I have to question or that I would not do with he or she right here, right now.
right. T Queen says, I'm already unraveled, so just leave me alone. I keep an updated commissary list just in case. Thank God for deliverance. I feel you. So my final thought is going to be: listen, first and foremost, be you. If you don't like you and you are going to bring a representative when you're trying to talk to somebody, then be by yourself until you get to the point where you're okay with who you are and whatever you choose to be. And be honest and upfront. I tell people I'm very honest about what ticks me off and the things that are my hard nose up front. So you can decide whether or not you want to continue this, continue pursuing me. And yes, Lady J is on the market because, again, like I said, I cut people off quick. When I see that you ain't, goodbye, deuces. You know what I'm saying? So I know I told you I had a boo the last time. Yeah, he didn't last long. So, but you come to the table honestly. Be upfront about who you are, what you and what you want, what you're looking for. So, and if that person tells you something that does not align with what you're looking for, then get up and leave. Don't think that you can change the person if you just do A, B, and C. Don't do that. Just leave. Period.
And don't try to use them either. I think that's another thing that's out here that's bad, man. People will understand and they'll know that good and well, okay, me and this person not a match, but this person has access to this, this, and this, and I want in.
Listen.
Don't be a parasite.
Let's just say what boo became boo boo quickly.
Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Jimmy Clay says, "I'm already distributed. Don't add to it. Carry on, please."
I'm telling you,
I know that's right. Listen, and I will say, do not come to the table with demands. Come to the table with what you can offer on both sides, but especially women, because it's not going to be good for you. And if you come to the table thinking that you're going to use somebody, trust and believe you me, baby, you got to reap what you sow. You have to reap what you sow. And then I'm going to say also, again, we're going to reiterate what we said earlier. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Do not treat people the way that you don't want to be treated. If you don't want somebody cheating on you, then don't cheat. That includes inappropriate conversation, exchanging of pics, videos, and all this other kind of foolishness y'all be doing behind somebody's back. So yeah, stop doing that. And last but not least, be loyal. Listen, and don't be loyal to the wrong thing or the wrong person, because not everybody deserves your loyalty. And when a person shows you that they are no longer deserving of your loyalty, then yes, you should get up and leave. So that's my thing, is loyalty. Be loyal to the one that is really in your corner, the one who has had your back, the one who has invested into you, the one who has, and I'm not talking about invested into you with just quality time. They've invested into your dreams, into your aspirations, into your business, invested into, you know what I'm saying, building a life with you. The person that is, giving of their time, their talents, their mental and emotional, financial, aspects, be loyal to that person. Because listen, fellas, the word says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Know who your favor is tied to. Because if you lose that favor, guess what, baby? You just lost some blessings, okay? If you mistreat that which God has given you, men and women, that's a slap in his face. And you're gonna have to pay for that, because you can't slap God and then he's gonna slap you back.
No lie. Hey, listen, I say this all the time. You done prayed for something that God done gave you. All right. Now God done went out his way to give you this person. All for you to mistreat and do wrong. And then, mess that up. Okay. How you gonna fix your mouth again to ask the good Lord to give you favor when he gave it to you, you gave it hell?
Pass the collection plate.
Well,
that's
it for me.
Addiction.
That's it for me.
Let's see. If kick you to the curb was a person, and you already know how I am, Latasha. Yes. Goodbye.
I told you, I
So
cut them off.
listen, we want to thank y'all for tuning in tonight to Relationshipology, man. This was such a good topic
It
that Keith
was.
came up with. Such a good topic. And I told you we was gonna have some real conversation. So we want to thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure that y'all catch us again. We're on every second and fourth Thursday, okay, of the month. Every second and fourth Thursday of the month. Make sure you're tuning in to JQLM Radio. You can download the JQLM Radio app on your Apple or Android devices. You can listen to it through Alexa or TuneIn app or Streaming Super Radio app, and a host of other platforms of which you can find on the egoentertainmentnet.com website. Okay, listen 24/7, 365 in your car while you're working, whatever.
That's right.
You know, so yeah, so we love bringing you all good content. And make sure you check out other shows that are on and the dope music. So until next time, guys, remember that together you either fall or fly. This has been Relationshipology with your girl, Lady J, and
Your boy Keith Omar.
all right, right on JQLM Radio, a division of Ego Entertainment Network, and we are out.
The inspiration for the songs because of you. The inspiration for the songs because of you. The inspiration for the songs because of you. It's for you. Can you sing it with me, baby? Can you sing it with me? Yeah.